As Disney continues to prey on millennials' nostalgia with these nostalgia bait reboots, they got us. Of course we wanted to watch Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers. They know that we were fans as kids, that's why they featured the NES game. They know we grew up with Roger Rabbit, and then Cool World. This is just the next iteration, and as technology has advanced, there are some scenes in this that would blow your mind. For instance, a scene that contains practical effects, a hand-drawn Chip, a CG Dale, and a plasticine putty man.
Honey, someone's doing a cool pose in the driveway.
The only way to tackle this is with full spoilers, so we will be spoiling everything about this movie and just talking about it, hitting on a few of the references that we liked. Yeah, it's on Disney Plus if you want to check it out. So we've got the whole cast here. We've got Chip, we've got Dale, we've got Zipper, we've got Gadget, and we've got Monterey Jack. And the premise of this film is Monterey Jack has been kidnapped and is being sold to a bootleg company to make a bootleg version of Disney movies, which is actually a really hilarious concept.
It's them basically pretending to be their characters. I think it's hilarious how this entire movie is just self-aware. And as you go on this journey, they just constantly are poking fun of themselves and making great references.
And even making fun of the fact that reboots even exist. It's literally Dale trying to convince Chip that now's the time to do a reboot because everybody's doing CGI reboots. So he's CGI while Chip is keeping it real, keeping it 2D. The last scene really sends it home.
Do you think we could get like a pop star to do the theme song?
Like a super serious version, even though everyone just wants to hear the original?
And we get a Post Malone song at the end. They know what they're doing, but they also don't abide by the rules that they're making in the story, which is strange.
They're like, we're gonna troll ya, because that's really what this film was. It's just basically a series of jokes that are like one-offs. Like the bad 3D model world, like all the CG guys. Like Seth Rogen's character, he's just this dwarf who works for Sweet Pete. And I think the best part of his character is when they reference all of his other characters.
They are weird. Super weird.
And in talking about like Roger Rabbit earlier, we even have an appearance by Roger Rabbit. There's a reference to the dip later on by the villain. There's a lot of references. So much so that we couldn't make this like an Easter egg video because you'd have to be watching the movie and pausing it every single second. Somebody else will do it.
The story as a whole was entertaining because you're getting Chip and Dale actually playing it out like an episode of Rescue Rangers. They're actually solving crime. As much as they made fun of themselves for it, they did do a good job in telling like an adventure story.
They're just trying to track down Monterey Jack, get to Sweet Pete, and that's basically it. All with the help with a new character, Ellie, who's a human and is also a huge fan of Chip and Dale. So she's like, I've been watching your show since I was a kid. I'm gonna help you out.
And that gave us probably the biggest swerve ever because I 100% thought that Ellie was gonna be the bad guy. Like that was gonna be the big grand reveal, the turn. Because they dropped all those little hints throughout the film that, oh, you lived in Albany, but Chip and Dale never aired there.
My grandma, she used to tape all the episodes.
Your grandma recorded all the episodes? Sure she did. Grandmas aren't good at technology. You're basically like Chip. You're like, oh, don't trust Ellie. Clearly we gotta trust Putty. But nope, they went with the obvious of Putty being like the bad guy, the dirty cop.
And he was great. That was J.K. Simmons, like super recognizable voice and hilarious character because he's a putty man. He can do whatever he wants, so it's super interesting when you get to see him fight Ellie. He can just change his body into anvils or whatever he wants, springs. It's just like a really cool concept. It really made me want to play Clay Fighter though.
Meet Mr. Frosty, snowman with an attitude, clay fighter for life.
Once you find out that it's Sweet Pete, who's actually Peter Pan, just grown up because he's actually an actor and not a boy, played by Will Arnett. He's behind all of this. Sweet Pete is also altering all other characters so that he can sell them to the bootleg company. He has this big machine equipped with Star Wars noises and lasers that will basically just turn people into other things. So what's really cool is he gets thrown into the machine, or the machine blows up, and he is turned into just a bunch of various things. Each limb is somebody else. His leg's a Transformer, well, his other leg is Farquaad.
Yeah, it looks like he's got like a Wreck-It Ralph arm.
And a Mario cannon arm.
Some cat face. And as positive as we are about like breaking down this story kinda and talking about the references, but I wanted Cuckoo Cola.
We got the flavors. Orange, grape, and cherry, you belong with Coca-Cola.
When Chip and Dale were having their like sync moment,
Jinx, you owe me a non-brand specific cola.
they easily could have just said, "You owe me a Cuckoo Cola," and I would have popped huge for that.
Yeah, there were a lot of references that I think people that were longtime fans would have appreciated. Even not having the Rescue Rangers together the whole movie is kind of a slap in the face to the concept of the reboot, because you don't get all of them together until like the last shot, and they don't really do anything.
I'm curious to hear what hardcore fans feel about Gadget and Zipper being together.
That was probably fanfic that they just scraped that from. That seems like a show that could be on TLC right now.
42 kids and counting.
Just so we can like tell you what the end is. They save Monterey Jack. He's got Dumbo ears. And that's it. To talk about some funny references, I gotta say, one of my favorites is when they stumble upon the knockoff Simpsons set.
I pachanga.
All the different like bootleg names were really hilarious, like Spaghetti Dogs, like
Spaghetti Dogs?
for Lady and the Tramp.
Oh
like,
my god.
It did deliver with its hilarious puns. And I think this is a film that both kids and parents can watch together.
Yeah, I think kids would have a blast with it. They don't need to get the references. I really liked that they had Ugly Sonic, because that was such a big fucking meme, and everyone blew up and they're like, I hate this Sonic, you gotta fix him, and they had to go back and change Sonic from the trailer because of his teeth, and they focused on it so much. And he became like a crucial aspect of the movie, and even came in with his like FBI squad at the end.
There's so many things that happen in this film that I'm looking forward to them potentially making. I know we're not gonna get Aunt Man.
And my superpower was being really charming to aunts.
And I would love that more than anything else. I'm sure Paul Rudd would totally do it too. You see all the characters from the Disney like afternoon show. You see Baloo, and all I'm thinking is, I want Tailspin. You see Darkwing Duck. They just gotta make these again. I know the whole point of this is like reboots are overdone and overplayed, but sometimes I just want it.
Well, Disney isn't gonna stop. Like, you know that they're just continuing to do it. That's why this even exists in the first place. So it doesn't matter what they're making fun of in the movie. They know. That's why half the movie takes place at a comic book convention, just so you can get a taste of them. They want to see what trends most out of this. Like, if Tigris starts fucking trending, then that's it.
Lumiere's going through the roof. Hashtag be my guest.
You want a piece of me? Be my guest.
Like, I saw Sonic trending this morning, and now I understand why. But he's already got a fucking movie. Give Darkwing Duck something, please. And we already got the Masters of the Universe reboot on Netflix, which I'm shocked. There's a lot of brands in this movie that aren't Disney owned. But I also can't keep track, because Disney owns a lot of stuff. But like Beavis and Butthead was in this.
There was a Doug billboard as well. Give me some like classic Doug. There's a reboot we need. You got Rocco right there.
Yeah, I'm down for a Rocco's Modern Life reboot. I heard there was one in the works. There is like a Beavis and Butthead one in the works.
I mean, there's that Nickelodeon like fighting game or whatever. Rocco's in that.
There's so many old shows that we want to see be revitalized, and I will take that nostalgia bait every single time.
I don't want TV shows though. I want something like this. I think if they just did like one-off movies, it just fills a little nostalgic void that you just want to have. You don't have time to watch 300 episodes of Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers, but I could watch this and remember things and reminisce.
That's basically all this movie is, because at the end of the day, I didn't really love this movie, but I appreciate it. I like the things that they did, but the movie itself is kind of very one-dimensional, despite how many dimensions are being used in this. But like, I didn't really care. Andy Samberg and John Mulaney did a great job, but this isn't a hard recommend for me, that's for sure. It's just a good Disney afternoon watch. So I'm gonna give this 2.5 chipmunk wraps out of 5.
These chips, he's Dale, and will never fail, cause neither of us will ever eat whale.
I agree with Jay. Like, this is just one of those films that the story, it is what it is. It's just something for people who grew up in the early 90s to really just sit back and just reminisce and take in everything that they used to love as a child. I did have a fun time watching this, but that's because I am their target audience. So with that being said, I give this film 3.5 Chippendale Slammers out of 5.
As always, thank you for watching. Like this video and comment below with your thoughts on the film if you've seen it. If you haven't and you do want to check it out, it's on Disney+. And if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel, stay up to date with everything here on Bloodbath TV, which is generally a really weird mix. It's usually like B horror movies and kids movies, because we like nostalgia bait too.